Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Color With Me podcast. My name is Alexis, and this is my Ascension Diaries channel, Instagram, and YouTube, and Facebook for some of you watching this. I wanted to do today's episode a little differently. You can see I've kind of switched around the camera angles and whatnot. I have this beautiful picture I've already started. I'm working with watercolor today, so please, I'd invite you, if you have a minute, just to sit down and doodle while I discuss today's topic. And I'd like to dedicate this episode to a dear friend of mine, Adrienne. It was her birthday recently, and I said I'd make my next painting out to her. And just as a big thank you for all of the support and love that you've given me and my family this year, and I wish you the happiest of birthdays. And yeah, today's episode, I was thinking, and I've been definitely delaying starting. As you can see, I've already kind of started painting to like get myself figured out, but I wanted to talk about ascension today is what kept coming up. And it's such an interesting topic because obviously I called my brand, my channel and everything, Ascension Diaries. It was originally Schumann Diaries, fun fact, but I didn't think, at least at that time, most people didn't know about the Schumann resonance, and it was hard to spell, and I was like, it might not capture the audience, or at least as broad of an audience as I was hoping to reach. I wanted to reach the Ascension community because it was such a huge hot topic thing during that time of my awakening. It was definitely me going, is ascension real? And if it's happening, can I track it scientifically, which is what I was doing with the Schumann resonance, still am. And, are we really going to be blown up with a supernova, with a solar event that will kind of reset things? And it was kind of a moment of panic, it was like, it was exciting because I was also depressed at the time, and I was like, yeah, blow me up with the sun. I was super hyped about that. I was like, that's exciting. Let's do that. I definitely don't want to be a slave anymore. Don't know what to do about that. And so I made my blog and everything about ascension, because if ascension was real, I was going to capture my own ascension, because I realized it was more of a gradual process right away, because the few people I followed in the beginning who were like, ascension's happening, it's gonna happen on blah 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 date, it didn't happen on those dates. And I was like, well, if it happens, it happens. I had enough of an idea and understanding of what death was and where you go, because I had a family member pass away when I was in high school, a close family member. Over time, gradually, we knew she was going to perish because the doctors told her she was going to perish, and then poisoned her continuously with chemotherapy drugs. So that was a whole other story, and that was where I sort of jumped into the idea of ascension and so on, because I knew the body moved, I knew the soul moved on. I had gotten and received contact from my grandmother after she had passed over in many forms, and I still do. And yeah, so ascension has been a hot button topic. It has been talked about by many of the researchers, and again, like I've mentioned, most of the books behind me right now have the word ascension in their title, and they haven't been cracked. The place that I'm actually in was prepared by somebody who also got cancer and passed away before they really got to retire here, and it was passed on to a friend of mine and his own friends, the person who passed away. And this person has also come back and communicated with us. We've recently found a picture of him and his ashes amongst all of these things, and he wasn't much for pictures. And so, ascension is a funny topic because, you think maybe after you die, you do ascend to another vibration, but in this lifetime, are we going to ascend because of a solar event, because of something in our environment shifting while we're still alive? And what is that going to mean? What is it going to mean for your soul? What does it mean for your body? What does it mean? And I had all these questions. I was wondering what it meant. And I continued to make that my pursuit. And I still do in a lot of ways. But to be honest with you, and why I'm bringing this up is because I've looked at all these books and I've tried to pick them up and I start reading them and I just don't want to. I don't want to read them anymore. And I may have, done more research if I had gotten here a year earlier, 2 years earlier. But at this time, I really don't want to know. And I think there's a few reasons for that. And I think that's a major, reason why I wanted to talk about this today, is because ascension and whatever may still happen. There may still be a solar event. I'm still tracking solar and Schumann events for a reason, and I have no doubt that it's going to get more wild and whatever, because it's proven to be the case. But I don't care to know more about ascension and my soul and what's going to happen to me as much anymore, because I realize that what's going to happen to me is predestined. It's already going to figure it out. I am energy. I am going to go back to source in whatever form. I'm going to be, resorted or whatever in the direction and the space I'm supposed to go to. And I really have a lot of peace in that, because why stress? Why stress about what's going to happen to you after you die or after something like this happens? It doesn't make me happy, and it wasn't making me happy. And what I realized is what the whole thing about this ascension was to help me understand is that I need to pursue my own happiness. I need to get into a place where I'd be okay with, whatever happening. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't feeling good after my university degree. I was like, holy shit, I wasted so much time doing this research and kind of accustoming myself to the matrix and trying to get a degree that would be relevant to an area of study I want to be in. And so maybe I can find a job and work and support myself and live in an apartment and get married and have children and just do what my parents did and just, live out that narrative. And I realized that that was not what I wanted to do, mostly because I also realized that a lot of it was a lie, and a lot of the stuff that they taught me in school was a lie. A lot of the reality of how money works, how the healthcare system works, how energy and technology is, and I learned all these things and all these lies, and it made me crazy. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to keep playing the game when I know that there's so much better going on. I want more answers. So I got into the disclosure and ascension community at the same time, pretty much because I wanted to know more. I wanted to support people who were coming out, whistleblowers, to share more what they know and push harder to get these technologies out. And it was because I was unhappy. I was unhappy with my situation. I was unhappy with where I was. I was unhappy with how I spent my freaking time and how I had been fooled. And I was fooled into debt. I was fooled into student debt. I was fooled into all these things. And that's why I was like, well, if the sun blows up, great, because then I don't have to worry about my student debt. I'll just be dead. Or I'll just be, dead. I mean, I'll just be somewhere else. I'll just be transmuted. I'll just be in a new place. I'll just be on a new page. And I was okay with that. And then all those things about ascension and disclosure, they weren't going the way that everyone was saying they were going to go. They were like, oh, disclosure, this and that's going to come out here, and this is going to change, and this technology is going to come out, and these people are going to get arrested, and all this. And you know what? Those people, a lot of people have been arrested, and a lot of things have shifted. I'm not saying that. And, the sun's going to do this, and these energies are going to come in. And I watched energies come in. I watched my own vision shift multiple times. I've watched my whole room in my apartment turn into golden light, and I was gravitationally pulled to the floor because there was nothing else I could do for 3 days. And this clouds forming into shapes and figures like Shiva or Ganesha or things like that, and talking to me. And I wasn't on any hallucinogenics. I think I may have been having some cannabis at the time, but again, cannabis doesn't generally have you hallucinate to such a huge degree, especially after, my experience with it and my body's tolerance to it. it didn't make sense to me. But I've had these events. I've seen the rainbow waves. I've seen it in my dreams. I've seen all this stuff. But again, I wake up, I'm still in a world where I have student debt. I'm still in a world where, you know, people are bowing down and arguing over stupid stuff while I can clearly see that it's a distraction from, you know, what's really going on, from human trafficking, from the banking system still not releasing, you know, money. A lot of people are waiting for the financial system to release and reset the financials. That was a big part of it. People are still waiting for full disclosure, where all of these technologies and everything that they've told us about to come out. And that's going to be a part of the ascension of humanity and the saving of humanity. And I really got tired of it really fast. And not only did I get tired of it, but because of my pursuit of truth and my own advancement as a human, I quickly morphed and changed and moved. And I watched all these events happen. I reported them. Still, people would wake up the next day and go to work. It wouldn't move them to the point where they were like, I'm not gonna participate in this system anymore. They still get caught up in the media, who is cooking up new shit every single day. And you know what? They cook up similar shit around the same time of year every year. And I'm watching this happen, and I realized that I wasn't happy because I was hoping the environment around me was going to shift drastically, and it didn't to the extent that I wanted. And I had to do the work. I realized that I had to do the work to make myself happy, to find where I could be and thrive without the stress of having to be on someone else's schedule, the stress of having to pay for electricity, to pay for water, to pay for access to internet, things like that. I've somehow managed, through my sheer will, to move myself into a place where I don't have to worry about this stuff as much. I obviously still pay for stuff, and that's working its way out. I still pay to eat, but we're on a land now where we're going to be gardening. You know, more and more people are gardening, more and more people are building structures, more and more people are engaging with free energy. I moved myself into an area where those possibilities are far more possible. But it still hasn't all happened yet, you know. We're still working to make money. We're still exchanging money for services, but I'm happy. And I'm so happy that I feel like I don't need to know all the answers. I don't need to know where and what is really going on all the time. Because I wake up every day, I exercise, I wake up next to my beloved, on my dog, in our little sovereign home on wheels, and we make, you know, tea, and we discuss our dreams, and we write them down, and we get up and we exercise, and we visit with our beautiful neighbors and our dear friends. And I, you know, read books, and we do artwork, and we have videos, and we have an online community that we support, and I'm happy. And I really don't the ascension thing isn't what I'm not holding out for that anymore. I'm not holding out for an exterior thing for me to enjoy my day-to-day life. And it was hard. Like, I definitely had to make some sacrifices. I had to do some things that I didn't want to do, but I had my tarot cards with me to help me during those moments where my mind was like, this isn't how things are supposed to go. This isn't what you were taught is appropriate for your, you know, time and energy and choices I'm making. And then I would do a reading, and it would be like, this is fine, you're doing fine, keep going, blah blah blah, and it would be constant. And I just kept following faith, and I followed my intuition, and now I'm here. I'm literally living such a beautiful life right now, and it's only going to continue getting better. And I want to share this and how I did it, and I want to help people release from the waiting game of something outside of you is going to change before you get to change. It's so the opposite. And once you start changing what you're doing with your time and your energy, everything around you begins to change, and that shows how powerful we really are. And I wanted to share that today. I only have a few seconds left on Instagram, so I'm just going to say goodbye, Instagram. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to see the rest of this video, you can go to my YouTube channel, and just don't wait anymore. Go out there and do it yourself. And yeah, ascension, it's beautiful. I did ascend. I really did in a lot of ways. I ascended out of the situation that I was unhappy in. I ascended so many things out of my life, and I've released a lot as well. And it's a lot about release. Apollo. Apollo wants to be released from this place. You want to go? You want to be on camera? You want to say hi to everybody? Come here, honey. This is what I'm talking about. Come here. Oh. Oh, look how big you are. And I've been in the pursuit of this, bliss and this happiness, and it wasn't the way that I thought it was going to be. And that's okay, because it's so much cooler and more magical, and I have shown myself that I've been able to be resilient and happy in situations where I never thought I'd be in, and I can be happy with a lot less because I have a lot more in a lot of ways. And I'm just so grateful, and I don't need all these books to show me what's going to happen and what's going on, because these are all of everyone else's perspectives anyway, and we're still alive. We're still in bodies. We're still, we're still here on Earth, and there's so many varieties of ways that you can live on this planet. Some people, they aren't even in contact with the rest of the civilized world right now. They're in the rainforest with their families, making food every day and gathering and doing ceremony and things like that. I'm not even close to that yet, but I want to be closer. I want to be able to make our own food, and we're making our own clothes, and we're making our own decisions in a lot of places that most of the time you don't get to make those choices for yourself. And that's why we call it divine sovereign beings, because we want to be divine and sovereign and make our own choices and live our own life. And I feel really, 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 really grateful that I've somehow been able to ascend out of the place that I was unhappy and work my way towards something, and fall and trust and surrender to a place that I am happier, and I'm not wanting to just blow up in flames of the sun. I don't mind if I do, I really don't, but I'm enjoying the time that I have now to its fullest, and I'm grateful for that. And I really hope to be able to project and share and give that perspective for other people, so they can continue moving in that direction instead of waiting and just biding your time, because it's a parasitic situation, and the system's gonna keep taking from you. It's very unlikely that it's going to just give you everything that you want and you've been waiting for. You have to go out and do it yourself, and it's a lot more fulfilling for your soul as well to do it yourself instead of have it given to you. And there's a lot of things that can be given to you when you change the context that you need it from. So if we needed a few, like couple $100 to get to a location, or a few dozen dollars to buy food, that came in. It came in because we opened up portals for that. I opened up places on my website where I can do tarot readings and meetings with people, and I have an expansive social media connection, and for somehow people will come in and they will say, I felt drawn to give you this, I felt drawn to reach out to you, something told me to. And it's like, there is so much more magic in the way of living this way, instead of having everything scheduled, instead of saving your money for retirement. There are ways, that is a way to live, but it wasn't what was going to make me happy. And I wasn't going to make it to retirement with the knowledge and the passion. I'm getting emotional, but like everything that I had going for me at that time was not going to put me in a good place. If I couldn't get myself out, I was going to take myself out. It's not a healthy way to live. And so I'm grateful, so grateful that I was able to hold on, because I truly didn't want to leave, and work my way out. And it was really hard, and it wasn't without a lot of tears. and I still cry all the time because it is tough. But it was worth it, and it's still worth it, and I can see the light so much more after this whole year, especially of working towards, sovereignty. Apollo. I'm almost done, honey. Go. And I'm just grateful that there's still a community on my YouTube and out there that, can understand what I'm saying and perhaps are on the brink or in the process of doing this for themselves. And it's a magical, magical path. And it's, I've had this particular medicine, horse medicine, has been a big part of it for me. And again, my friend Adrian has been a big part of it for me and my family. And it's just, people want to help each other. And it's a really heart-led journey. And I'm just grateful that I've been able to capture it on my Ascension Diary and share it with people, because I really hope that what I've done is been of service to more people and has paved the way for more people to find their sovereignty again and their joy in their life, instead of reading books over and over about how and what's going to happen to you. You can use that information as recognize it while you're living your life and seeing like, oh, look at this. This is what I read in this Ascension book. Wow, I'm having this experience in my body. Wow, I'm having an experience, blah, blah, blah. But those experiences don't usually just come up out of nowhere. You have to be putting in the effort also. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you very much for being here with me. I hope you like my beautiful painting of a horse that I made for my friend, and I'd love to hear your opinion about all this, of course. And spread the love. Keep going out there and making your life something that you're proud of and that you're happy to live, and Spirit will support you. And there's people like me out there who will support you if you need extra help. But that's what I truly, truly want for everyone on this planet. And it's incredible what we've been able to accomplish. So happy October 1st. It's birthday month. My birthday's on the 22nd. So I'd be happy to receive your birthday wishes that day. If you want to send, any sort of gifts or whatever, you can email me, ascensiondiaries@gmail.com, and we'll figure it out or whatever. If you do have book recommendations, I am looking for reading books. I want to read fiction, something like, something cute, maybe something with mermaids. I'm just kind of feeling the need to get some fiction instead of some details about, their chakras and the meridians and dimensions, and I need a little bit of a refresher. I need some fantasy in my life again. So I'd love a recommendation or a book if you'd like to send it my way that you would recommend me read. A great fantasy book, something to take my imagination somewhere new and colorful. I would love that. And yeah, I think that's everything. Happy October, everybody. Thank you for all of your support on Patreon and PayPal, and just by liking, subscribing, commenting. Everything matters to me, and I really, really appreciate their participation. And until next time, I'll see you later.